What's up everybody, it's Admiral Revan here. Hope you're all doing well, and today we have some good news to share for you. My friends in the World of Warships community, today we are covering in regarding to the 11.7, the lead up for the Puerto Rico. Now the Puerto Rico, as you know, is the first warship that sparked the controversy about the Dockyard missions. It was the first warship that everyone was looking forward to in terms of the hype and the excitement, the thrill and the journey of getting something new and different. And the Dockyard event itself is actually fun, don't get me wrong. But the problem that we faced back then, and as history showed, it was how expensive it was and also how time consuming it could be. And obviously Wargaming has learned a lot of lessons from that, and the most recent Dockyard events have improved, and we know how you feel, folks out there, about the Dockyard event. Me personally, I think the Dockyard event is rewarding and it is actually a good challenge for us all to get something that we want as a collector's item. Now don't get me wrong folks, I mean the Puerto Rico is a fantastic tier 10 American cruiser. It is great, it's dynamic, it's versatile, the ship itself is very good. But the one thing that I will cover about in this video is about the Dockyard event and what you're going to be facing. So let's just understand a couple of things here. There's 40 phases that you need to deal with this time around for the Dockyard event, and it is pretty lengthy. I will say that very upfront. I'm not going to lie to you that when I looked at it for the first time around on the PTS, which is now available by the way for you to check it out, this is pretty interesting. So this recording that you're seeing right now is all in PTS, so that you can check it out for yourself and give us your thoughts and impressions about it and tell us how you feel. So alright, there's 40 phases for the Dockyard event for the Puerto Rico, and it is pretty lengthy, I have to say. One thing I will say very openly is that you got a very good chance of, with a lot of coverage from the next probably 3 months thereabouts by the looks of it, with those 3 patches from 11.7 to 11.9, that you get a good chance to really have a go and get into Puerto Rico. It looks like that the Dockyard will remain until the update of 11.10. So technically you got 4 months just by reading that. But it looks like the starter pack, I will start talking about that in a moment, is actually ideal as well. So just remember, whatever doubloons you have saved up, it's probably be a good time to invest in this. Now I will say that when you look at the rewards of this ship, you actually get the Hurun, which is a very nice destroyer to get as well, and also the camouflage that comes with it. There's a lot of good rewards in between, so definitely go check it out. So what I can show you is, like, in terms of the blog, this is exactly what is happening in terms of the Dockyard, what it looks like and everything. So the biggest thing that people did ask me a fair bit about was this part here about what if you got the Puerto Rico. Now Wargaming went in detail about this, so I will mention what they have said. And basically the Puerto Rico, or the PR for short, upon completion, when you finish doing the Dockyard itself, you get a Dockyard certificate. Okay, so pretty much you got an opportunity for special Armory reward, like a certificate of your choice, to like a token as such, that you can put towards either some resources of your choice: steel, coal, doubloons, research bureau points, as well as pretty much what they have stated there. So when I just looked at it carefully, considering the options here, I probably would put it towards steel. Steel is very hard to get in the game, and that's if you're a casual player. If you're just an average player or a person who has been in a lot of clan battles, steel is probably nice to have, actually, to get a nice steel warship in your port. Like for example the FDR, the Comparable, a few other things as well. But It's not like a must-have, but steel definitely is probably like what I would use it for. If it's the second choice, I probably would look at the idea of coal. And even though coal is the most common thing, the probably what would take over precedence is actually the research bureau points, then the coal, then the doubloons. Doubloons you always can buy and get for yourself anyway, or win it from giveaways from different streamers. But when it comes to coal, coal is nice to get, and basically you can win that opportunity from, you know, super containers or doing missions, and also the CC containers is a great reward and turnaround for coal resource. That is actually something that I would, you know, consider that option for you right there. Anyhow, just by looking at it, there's definitely, you know, some good rewards just, you know, building up from this. And honestly, just to be perfectly honest and frank with you all, that is actually an interesting turn of events to see how that pans out. Alright. Okay, so that is what the Puerto Rico event looks like in a nutshell on paper. But let's put it out into the live stream side of things. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the live stream. So pretty much what you're seeing here, folks, is the actual aspect of what the game looks like right now. And it looks pretty basic with everything going on. So let's go ahead and check it out. So as you can see, that this is the new port that they have going on at the moment for the event, which looks very nice. And there's the Rio de Janeiro port, and it looks actually spectacular, and it's very calm, very comfy lifestyle. And I have to say, you see some aircraft flying over, and it looks pretty cool. All right. So we'll just put this into the test and show what it looks like. So this is the Puerto Rico event itself. So basically, when you go to the Puerto Rico, you'll see a whole heap of things that you need to do preparation. In detail, what I can tell you, folks, is that what it looks very nice is the rewards. You get some good doubloons in return for what you've been doing for grinding during the time and by completing these missions. Looks like you still get a whole heap more doubloons as you go as well. So you got like 5,000, 6,500, and then an 8,000, and last but not least by 10,000. So just by looking at it, 10, 8, 6,500 and 5,000. Just by looking at that, I have to say that is a fair amount of chunk of doubloons right there, and I have to say it is nearly, I think, nearly 30,000 doubloons, I think, thereabouts. Yeah, 29,500. That's unreal. So 29,500 doubloons, folks. That is a definite serious chunk load of doubloons right there. So that's nearly 30,000 doubloons given back to you for free by doing the missions on there for World of Warships. In all seriousness though, it is a good opportunity for you to just grind it, do the time, and just get the rewards and enjoy it. Now, when we come down to this, it's very evident that there's a whole heap of bunch of starter packs that you need to go through and a few other things as well. So here's the actual port itself. We'll give it a moment. Love the actual aspect of the game, how they put it together. Nice touch up. Alright, so this is the Puerto Rico Dockyard. So we'll just go through the whole motions here. And obviously they talk about the Dockyard and the details about it, and discussing about like completing the game phases for the Dockyard itself. It actually mentions that you can complete 34 shipbuilding phases by progressing through the Dockyard combat missions. You can find the dockyard combat missions by in the corresponding section in port, which I've already shown you before. And basically they mentioned that each phase that you complete, you get like 250 steel, which is, you know, not too bad. Basically they did mention the full detail in the description here, that you can spend your own doubloons to help, you know, complete the rest of the build of the ship in a way. So here we go. So this is the dockyard itself. I mean, look, it looks very nice. The port looks actually pretty relaxing, and it's a general good atmosphere. And honestly, this time around they didn't do like a blueprint style when I did it last time with the previous events. This is like, you know, like a whole heap of events that list of phases that you go through, and honestly it does take a while to go through it to get to the, you know, the final part of the layer of the ship. So let's see what we can do. So as you can see here, this is the starter pack. Okay, the starter pack is very expensive at first, about 19,500 doubloons. That's about like $100 worth of doubloons just to really kick in for the start of the ship. In all seriousness though, the value for money for it, if you have the doubloons already, it's well worth it to use the starter pack to start it off with. And it means you're literally 18 phases into the actual phase of completing the Puerto Rico right at the beginning. So I'm going to show it to you right now how it works. So when you're seeing this, it basically is broken down to a few different phases here. So basically this is the whole bunch of rewards you get for using the starter pack for the 12,000 doubloons. If you go ahead and click yes, and it basically goes ahead and does it for you, and then I just continue on this show with the starter pack to work on the other phases as well too. But yes, it is actually pretty interesting how that goes. But yeah, it's pretty interesting though. So let me just see if anything happens here. You can go ahead and get the next 6 phases, and that will continue on as per se with the actual transitioning here. Now you can complete the rest of the phases, and I will warn you, viewers, that it is expensive. It's nearly 40,000 doubloons for the remaining phases of that. So with 19,500 and 38,500 doubloons, so 19,500 plus 38,500, that is, I'm triple checking that, 38,500, that's a whopping nearly 58,000 doubloons, nearly 60,000 doubloons. That, my friends, is like pretty much nearly a $400 ship. That's very expensive in terms of our currency, and here in Australia that is. But if you have the doubloons saved up, like many other people who have in their accounts over the years, I definitely would say, if you're willing to just, you know, grind your way up just to get something out of it in return, remember you probably will get some nice doubloons in return for this as well by doing those missions. So remember, if you did those missions, you will get about 30,000 doubloons nearabouts, you know, back in. So that's actually not too bad. That's about 29,500 if I worked it out correctly. So when I'm talking about that, I'll show you what I'm talking about so you understand. So let's go back into the missions here. See in here that it has a whole bunch of rewards, and looking at the build preparations and stuff. So it's actually like 5,000, 6,500, 8,000, and also 10,000 doubloons. I will be honest with you folks that when I did see this opportunity, I think that as a casual player, you're probably having more fun enjoying reaping the rewards of getting those doubloons and using that for yourself for whatever the reason. Whether you're going to convert that to free XP or use it towards the dockyard on missions of the ship itself, in terms of, you know, purchasing the rest of the phases. Honestly, just by looking through it right now, you have done 18 phases of the whole thing already, and pretty much just by looking at it, you got literally 22 phases to complete left over, and it is around about 38,500. So if I were to go ahead and do that right now, this will go through all the, you know, the transition of the whole thing. Now, it is very expensive. It is not cost effective though, and I will be honest with you that if you have a lot of doubloons available for you right now in your game, right now as it is, and you're willing to do the starter pack, feel free to blow it on the starter pack and go through it on the actual aspect of going through the easy parts and knocking that out quickly as soon as possible. A big thanks again to KGBTerminator for the work in progress logo, and it looks very nice, and there'll be more different logos like that for the years to come in the near future, so big thanks to him. Now, as you can see, that the phase 25 coming up is the Heron, the tier 7, and that's very, you know, fun to have to enjoy. So it is fun. It's very different to get, and honestly the Heron is a very nice destroyer to play around and muck around at tier 7. But is it worth grinding your way through 40 phases to get the Puerto Rico though? Some people say yes, some people say no. Me personally, to spend that much doubloons just to get that ship, it's ridiculously too expensive. But in some cases, some people might have the doubloons, and that's fine. But at least you got the combat missions that you can quickly, you know, get that carried out there. Just by looking at it, the cinematics and this sort of thing, for the animations for watching us construct the Puerto Rico is pretty cool. I love it. It's nice. And it's actually very relaxing, comforting thought that you can sit back and watch this being put together. And it looks actually pretty cool. Just by looking around here, there's nothing much happening in the actual dockyard itself around the buildings as such, but it's more focused on the actual building of the ship right now. Upon completion, and once the Puerto Rico is constructed, it will show its new fancy camo and also watch it fire its guns, which is pretty nice. So we'll be able to see that in a second here. But yeah, look folks, just remember, if you're doing the Puerto Rico event, I will encourage you to focus on doing the combat missions first and have fun doing so. Because there's no point of you spending doubloons in the game if you're going to get the doubloons back anyhow and use it towards the dockyard mission. If you want to really get the ship off the bat and want to do it right now, that's more power to you, but that's your prerogative. And here we are approaching phase 37. The rewards are very nice though. I mean, like, in each of the phases are pretty good. There's 2,000 steel at phase 39, and that actually looks pretty cool. For the coal here, 10,000 coal, but there's a whole bunch of stuff, you know. You get good gift containers and different camouflages and XP rewards and bonuses and stuff, economic benefits, and yeah, it's not bad at all so far. And now we're waiting for the Puerto Rico to be finally brought out. And there's the Puerto Rico. So that's what the Puerto Rico looks like. with the fancy camo. Alright, so that's what the Puerto Rico looks like when it's finished. Okay. So, and this is the rewards that you are entitled to from the last 22 phases. Now, I have to say that, you know, just by looking at it all, it looks all, you know, fine and dandy, but man, it's very expensive in doing so. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's go show the tier 10. American. Puerto Rico. There's the Puerto Rico, folks. Lovely tier 10 American cruiser. With a big flag on the side here. Lovely emblems, you know, logos, as well as, surprisingly, they don't have any people on the ship. This time around they didn't put any people on the deck of the ship. In comparison to, say, the Missouri or the Anchorage. So as you can see, there's the Missouri with the crew. But yeah, just by looking at it all, a little bit different, that's for sure. There's a lot of economic bonuses there, and check that out. 100% for the pre-XP for the camouflage. Also command XP, ship XP, and also credits. Just remember that you can adjust it to your liking as such, but this is the basics of the Puerto Rico bonus pack, and you can, you know, tweak it as you see fit. But yeah, you can definitely, you know, see some good rewards and outcomes. You get a nice 10-point commander and tweak it to the way you decide it, and that's pretty much it. So that is pretty much it for the Dockyard event for the Puerto Rico. So yeah, folks, I mean, like, in all seriousness though, definitely if you like it, to get the Puerto Rico, by all means get it. As I said, you know, you don't have to rush to get it, but if you want to enjoy the rewards, just by enjoying the combat missions, alternatively, that's the best way to do it. You know, just sit back, relax, and enjoy it. Alright folks, that is it for now, but if you have any more questions or anything like that, leave a comment down below. Feel free to subscribe to my channel and everything, and then I'm sure we can talk more about it. But until then, stay safe, take care my friends, and have a good one.